Alright guys, good afternoon. Adrian, your black hat here with my daughter Caitlin. We're going to be taking you through or showing you your warm-up. It's just basically the same warm-up we've done for the last few weeks. Also showing you your workout and then getting into your cool down. So I have my cameraman just kind of straight out in front of me, so I'm going to put this in the comments as well, but here's your warm-up and your cool down. So these are moves that we've been doing for a while. Hopefully you guys know them, hopefully you love them. If not, definitely let me know, leave a comment. Hey, I forgot what this was. I'll take additional pictures if need be. So the theme of today is a little different. So we're going to do an isometric move for round one. We're going to do our family time, and then round two we're going to do a modified form of that isometric and actually take it into an exercise that does a contraction that targets most of the same muscles. So isometric contraction is just something where your muscle is not lengthening and it's not shortening. Anytime we do a movement, a squat, a bench press, whatever, there's a portion of the motion that we call eccentric, which is when your muscles are getting longer, so the downward phase of a squat. And then there's a portion that we call concentric, which is when the muscle shortens. So the more powerful that elongation, the more powerful that concentric phase. So, but isometric doesn't change the length of the muscle. It actually just statically works that muscle in its constant state. So we're still firing stabilizers, we're still firing muscles, we're still working hard in terms of our body doing things and firing muscle, but we are not actually lengthening it and shortening it. Isometric movements are very important to gain basic strength, even stability. So that's why round one is going to be isometric moves for you. So round one, your wall sit. So Caitlin and I live just across the street from a church. So we're in kind of like the church parking lot area. We're gonna show you the wall sit, and I'm gonna let her use this area over here. All right, so she's gonna come up to this. If she's using this, you can use whatever you have, doorway, whatever, or your door if it's strong enough and shut. And she's gonna put her feet, nope, before you get down, so up. And then now put them hip width apart. Slightly turn your feet out just a little bit. There you go. And then you can come down. Now you can go a little wider if you need to. A little wider.
I don't know if I trust this.
I'm gonna let you fall. Okay, so you would want to come as far down, and you're already bringing up. So I'm gonna have you come up. I'm gonna have you step forward, all the way up. Step forward. All right, now try it. Like, don't lean on that. Just come down into a squat and hold. All right, so she's not leaning on that. She's coming into a squat and holding. But if you were going to be up against something, a wall or something else, you actually want that back to be touching and you to be working on firing everything in that posterior chain. That's isometric hold number one. Your first, you can come on up.
Oh.
Your first round is going to be 1 minute and 15. Okay, so it feels like a long time. If you want to tap your toes, kind of help yourself, kind of pace that time, you can definitely do that. Now high plank, I'm going to give her a pass on this one because she's doing a lot of the demos today. I've hurt my legs, so she's doing a lot of the high impact stuff today. So high plank. So I know you're thinking, okay, this is a lot of work. This is pretty easy, and if you have a really good basic level of fitness, you can either hold this high plank right here or you can hold this high plank right here. But the big thing about when you're in that plank is to fire all those little muscles, not just being up into that position. So focus on bringing your belly button in towards your spine, firing that core, not placing all of that stress onto the front of your shoulders, but actually making your core stabilize you and help to hold you in place. So use that minute and 15 to do that. If that high plank position is just too easy and you're like, you know what, it's isometric, I get it, but I'm not getting enough work, take it down to your elbows, okay? That's a whole nother level. But the idea here is not to shorten and lengthen and shorten and lengthen to get sweaty and sore, but to make all of those stabilizing muscles work and fire in more of a passive manner. Round two is where you're gonna really start firing them, and that's when it's gonna probably hurt a little bit and you're gonna get nice and sweaty. So just be patient. All right, hollow holds. I'm gonna have Caitlin come over for hollow holds so she doesn't have to do this on the pavement. Not fun to do on the pavement. So go ahead and lay down. She's gonna be on her back. We didn't bring our mat because it's not wet out, so. All right, she's gonna fully extend her legs, fully extend her arms, and now she's gonna come up, arms and legs are gonna come up. And she's going to hold here, more like a bowl, less like a V, and she's gonna hold right there. And she's gonna focus on taking that belly button down into her spine and not letting that low back come off the ground. If someone So Caitlin, you're done with hollow hold.
Someone's right my ass.
Woo! That's amazing. So now I'm gonna do straight bridge because I didn't even tell her I was gonna do this one. So straight bridge. So I am here, my hands are behind me. I actually have them facing the wrong way. And I'm gonna come fully up. So I use my hips, push my hips up, I tighten my glutes, I'm firing everything, I'm controlling my core, and this is where you are staying for that minute and 15. Seems pretty easy, seems pretty simple, but after about 30 to 35 seconds, you should, and I bet you will, be shaking pretty good. All right, so that is that hold there, that straight bridge hold. All right, next we have the lat hold. All right, I think my band blew away. Oh, look at that, it did. All right, so lat hold. You need something to actually have a little bit of that gravitational pull, put some stress on you. You can use a band, you can use 2 dumbbells outward, whichever you would like to do. I just happen to have a band, so I just grabbed this. So you can come right straight out here, okay? If I have a band and I'm like, oh, it's too much, when I have both legs in, I can take it out, reduces the tension. If I want to increase the tension, I simply include both feet and I just put them out a little bit wider, okay? You're not worried about what really is going on down here. You're worried about what is going on up here. So you're gonna have that band that way, whatever you have, and you are right here for that minute 15, okay? I know it seems easy and simple, but whether you're using a band or whether you're using dumbbells, you are gonna get work in between those shoulder blades. I guarantee you that. Okay, so just right there, or if you have your weights right at the side, if you want to use a couple of half gallons, jug of juice, jug of milk, you got some kitty litter type boxes around that you can hold at the side, whatever works for you. Either way, I guarantee it's going to burn a little bit, especially after that minute 15. All right, so finally, last but not least, I'll give Caitlin another break here. My Superman hold. So I'm down on my stomach, onto the floor, the ground, wherever you are. My arms are straight out, my feet are straight out. I'm going to come up, all right? If you have something in the upper body, and this is a little bit too much in the upper body, in your shoulders, you can bring the arms back. It's gonna put it more towards the lats and less towards your shoulders, okay? But if you don't have anything, it's all good right here. Now, if this is too much and you need to modify, you can just bring the top up, or you can just bring the bottom up. If you have a low back issue, I'd say just bring the top up and leave the low back planted, because it does compress the lumbar spine just slightly. It's not a lot, but if you have a lumbar issue, it may bother you. So in that case, just do the front portion of it and don't worry about the back portion of the movement. All right, so now we are going to move on to your family time. All right, guys, time for some family time fun. So what we did is, because I know that first round is isometric and you're chomping at the bit and you want to get active and you really want to move, so here it is. We're going from that isometric, that really kind of lower level, no real contraction when we're talking in terms of, you know, lengthening and shortening, to a lot of like high intensity stuff. Get the body moving, get the sweat going, get you feeling great. All right, so this is all the exercises, and Caitlin is going to run through this in just a second. So what you're going to do is you're going to choose 3 exercises from this board, from this list. So you have split hops, skaters, box jumps, toe taps, V-hops, rocket jumps, squat jacks, mountain climbers, jump lunge, and lateral double leg hops. So you have tons of stuff to choose from. We're going to run this like a mini plyo or a mini hit. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick 3 of those exercises, whichever you like. And I have this nice little graphic down here. If you want, you can set up cones for yourself in a field, whatever works. You can have 1 upstairs, 1 downstairs, and 1 in another room. If you want to run to each, great. If not, you can use that 10-ish, 15-ish seconds to kind of reset. So if I picked box jumps, jump lunge, or rocket jumps, because I like those 3, those are fun, I'm going to do 30 seconds in my box jumps. Then I'm going to go to my station 2, or just take 10 seconds right in place, and then I'm going to do that jump lunge. Boom, got my jump lunge done, 30 seconds. Then I'm going to take that 10, maybe 15 seconds to reset, rocket jumps, all right? Then I'm right back at station 1. So a couple of notes with this, and ways to make it harder, ways to make it easier, things like that. So the more modified is more rest in between each of those activities, and more rest in between the rounds. Because after I've done box jumps, jump lunge, rocket jumps one time all the way through, I get to take a nice, easy 45-second pause. Just kind of let my body recoup, reestablish that energy system, but just partially. If I want more rest, that just modifies it and gives your heart rate a little bit more of a chance to come down. That work to rest ratio increasing, meaning that we're doing less work, more rest, just means a lower calorie burn, and the flip is true. If I'm doing more work, less rest, I have a higher calorie burn, I'm at a higher percentage of my heart rate. So you control the difficulty of that. You don't have to do 30, 30, 30. If you're like, man, I want to get after it, I want to do 45, 45, 45, definitely. But if you have a MyZone, just watch the heart rate, make sure that you're feeling good, doing good, no dizziness, anything like that. All right, and you're gonna do 3 total rounds. So I do my station 1, my box jumps, my jump lunge, my rocket jumps. Woo, take my 45-second rest. I'm back in it. I do those 3 again. I take another 45-second rest. I'm back in it, and I do that again. Okay, you choose the activities, and you choose your rest ratio, and you choose your work. So are you gonna work for 30 seconds, 45 seconds? Are you gonna rest in between for 10 seconds or 15? And when all 3 exercises are done, are you gonna rest for 45 seconds or closer to a minute? So you control the difficulty with this one as always. So Caitlin's just gonna go through real quick and show what these are. Alright, so give you a face to the camera, Caitlin, and show them what split hops are. It is a little chilly out here. So you're gonna jump out. No, jump out.
Oh yeah.
Jump out, then in. Then you're gonna, 1 foot comes forward, 1 foot comes back, then you're together, then you jump out again, then you come together, then the other foot goes forward. And that 4-count movement is 1 movement. Now, if you want to modify that, you're not going to get the same high intensity effect, but you can just step in, step out, step in, step out, step in, step out, in, out, in. Okay, so you can take that down just a little bit, but the idea is higher intensity. So if you don't have an injury, try to do the hop style. All right, so now Caitlin's going to do the rocket jumps. I know you love these. You gotta have some space in between. Yep. All right, so regular rocket jump. Now what do we do if we're going lower intensity? Come up to the toes. You got it, and back down. All right, straight for that 30 seconds or 45, whatever you chose. All right, now Caitlin's gonna do skaters. Just showed her these today, so let's see if she's got it.
Like something
Yeah. Not very smooth, but yes. So you're back and forth. You can take the touch out. So she's doing a lot of this high impact stuff. My leg is not the best. So kind of like she was saying, so you're back and you're forth, okay? If you're like me and you have to modify right now, you can just take that hop out and you can do it with a step and a lean, okay? There's tons of different ways to modify that one. All right, now Caitlin's gonna get after that squat jack. So she's gonna get down into her squat. All right, so space in between here. There we go. And now she's gonna bring them outwards, jumping outwards and inwards. Out, in, out, in. All right, I'm gonna have her stand up, but before she does, look how far forward she is, all right? Cameraman, can you get my side view? Don't want you to be this far forward on a squat, okay? It's more of a sit, it's less of a lean, all right? So make sure your back is straighter if you can. Now, that modified, you can come up. Now that modified version is, I'm down in my squat, and I'm stepping out instead of going out, okay? So like benches over here, but they are the slick side benches, if you've ever seen those where they have the polished surface on them, which means if you try the jump up, which is probably going to fall a park bench, bed, couch, if you have something that is stable, we want to use something that is stable, not something that is unstable. So now I'm going to have her do jump lunge on the grass. This is a higher intensity move. It's a lot of coming down onto the legs. Alright, so jump lunge. Alright, so yep, and she switches. She switches in the air. Now if she's going to do that modified, what are they doing for modified? Coming back and they're stepping, and then they come back and they step with the other foot. That's our modified. Alright, now our V hops. You want to turn and face the cameraman? There we go. Forward, center, back, center. She told me I should call these X jumps, but they're still V's, okay? All right, and then second to last, we didn't really do these in exact order, but the lateral hops. So we have a nice line here because we're in a parking lot that she can use. So come on over, and she's just gonna hop back and forth. Okay, it's not a big jump. It's just a little hop, but 30 to 45 seconds of this, trust me, you will feel it. All right, our last one, we're gonna kind of take a little bit of a field trip. Come on over. Step across so I can show this to you. My cameraman can actually go on the other side. All right, and I'm gonna let her come over here, put one foot up and one foot down. This is very slick surface, so I'm not gonna have her do a ton of these, but your toe taps. So you start with one foot on the ground, one foot up, and essentially you're jumping and switching. So you wanna just show like a couple, okay? Yep, and just keep in mind that when you're doing this, you're just alternating the feet, okay? There's no real stepping, you're just alternating the feet. Now, if I want to, you can stop. If I want to take this down and I want to modify this, just like we've done in class before, you can just step up, you can step that up, all right? If you wanna make this more difficult, you can actually bring the leg on two, come all the way up, punch with the knee, back down, but make sure this leg is loading. But those toe taps will probably be, for the most part, difficult enough. So we don't want to walk through this too much. We're going to take the nice little winding path. All right, guys, that is your family time, and now we're going to go into round two. All right, guys, now we're going to get started into round two. Now, round two, for the most part, we don't have any weights in here. There is a band in one of them, but you can weight this to make it more difficult. So if you have a dumbbell, if you have a medicine ball, if you want to take this higher intensity, add in some jumps, there's definitely ways to do this, and we'll take you through as we go along. So round two, we had that wall sit, remember, for round one. Now we're going to mirror that, and we're just going to have a squat. So I'm going to have Caitlin come on down again. She's going to get that hip width, shoulder width apart. She's going to slightly turn her feet outward, and she's just going to do air squats. So she's just going to down and up. Yep. Now you can weight this, right, fairly easily. I can have a weight right here, goblet hold, or I can have two weights at the side, depending on how you want to do that. If you have a medicine ball, you can actually have your medicine ball right there in the center, and you can weight that down and up. So there's tons of ways you can weight it, but you got those squats, and you got them for that good 45 seconds to a minute, so get the most out of it that you can. All right, now we have close arm push-ups. So before we had the plank, right? So now we have close arm push-up. So for this, you're either up or you're on your knees, depending. And we're a little closer than that. All right, so we're either up here full or we're down here on knees, and we got that close arm push-up. So I'm pulling from my delt, I'm pulling from my tris. It's just here or it's full there, okay? That is up to you. Don't need to add any frills into this unless if you want. If you're up here and you're doing your close arm and it's just not enough, then you can take a plate if you have one, or if you have a dumbbell, just be careful, have someone else place it for you right on the back when you're doing that push-up. All right, so that is station two. That is mirroring our plank and what we were doing with our plank before. All right, station three. So station three, we had that hollow hold before, so very similar. We're gonna have a V-up. So I'm gonna have Caitlin come on down. Just be careful. All right, so legs are extended, arms are above her head. This is the harder variation of the exercise and or the exercise itself. So there's a couple of different ways to do this. I'm gonna have her do the exercise, which is a little on the harder side, and then we'll show you the modified as well. So she's gonna bring her arms up and her feet up in a V-up fashion, and she's gonna try to reach, if she can, her legs. Okay, and then back down, and that is her full V-up, if she was gonna do the full V-up. Now you remember the modified, where we had the hands behind. All right, hands are behind your body. You don't wanna round the back. You still want it fairly nice and straight. She's gonna bring her legs up. Now you gotta bend them, and then she's gonna come out, and she's gonna come in. Yep, slightly modified. You don't have to go way down, and you don't have to go way far out, okay? So that's the V-up and our modified V-up. All right, now for station four, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna walk over and show you these tricep dips on the bench. So I'm gonna have my cameraman take a quick little field trip. A really easy way to modify this is just to choose a lower surface. less of an angle. It's a little bit more modified, more easy to do. The other option is always to bend the knees and then to come down with the butt. Yep.
It's a little bit harder here.
All right, feels harder for you, but it's a little bit more modified. All right, so there's your tricep dips. On the other end of that last round, on that round 1, we had straight bridge, so similar. All right, now we're gonna walk around. All right, now Caitlin gets a little break because we have lat raise. All right, so you can do this with weights, you can do this with a band, basically whatever you have. And I'm actually going to be doing moving raises now. So I'm not static and I'm not just standing there and letting all the muscles kind of passively fire. I'm actually moving. So I'm coming out, I come down, and then I come out to the side, okay? Or if you want to increase resistance, put both feet in there, same thing, out to the front and out to the side. All right, you get that 45 minutes to, 45 seconds. Ooh, 45 minutes, that'd be a long one. 45 seconds to a minute on that, and you had the lat raise static hold when we were on last round. All right, so finally Caitlin's gonna have swimmers. So right down on the belly. So if you remember, we had Superman hold, so very similar. All right, arms are out, feet are out, and she's just gonna be coming up, alternating arm and leg, alternating arm and leg. Same thing with this one, there is a slight compression in the lumbar spine. So if you're doing this and you notice it's agitating an old injury, you could just do the top half. But for the most part, it's very, very small. So unless there's a huge lumbar problem, it shouldn't be a big issue for you. And then that is your swimmer. All right, so Caitlin, you're all done with that. So now with your cool down. So I did show you guys what the cool down looks like. Ooh, the wind is blowing. What the cool down looks like. All right, and if you do not remember pillar, because that's one that a lot of people are like, I know what it is, but I don't know what the name of it is. Pillar is just both of our arms were interlocked and we come straight up. No need to actually bring it up to the toes, but if you want to and feel like it, you definitely can. With pillar, we always start here, we go to one side, we come back to center, we go to the other side, and we come back to center. The other one that you may have forgotten, because it's been a little bit since we've done it, I call the number 4. It's called the number 4 stretch, the piriformis stretch. It's got a lot of different names, but it's known mostly for stretching the piriformis and preventing some sciatic pain, but it also does wonders for just the hip complex in general. So you're gonna come down, lay down on the ground, and whoop, you're gonna have one leg bent at that 90 degrees, other leg comes over, one leg reaches in between, or one arm, and then the other arm reaches on the other side. We grab and we pull, okay? And remember, hold this 15-ish seconds, and then make sure you switch and you get that other side as well. All right, guys, that is your workout. Don't forget your family time. Just remember that round 1, I know it's a little bit slower paced, but it's an isometric hold. It will benefit you, trust me on that. And then on that family time in that round 2, you really get to plug it in and dig hard and dig deep. Have a good one, guys. Stay safe and healthy, and I hope to see you soon.